While early on, RPG representation in the indie space on the Switch wasn't great, over the years we've accumulated quite a bit of both depth and variety in the genre. One of the more popular varieties we've seen have been a mix of life sim, action RPG combat, or dungeon crawling of some kind, with perhaps a sprinkle of some relationship management thrown in for good measure. Elrentaros Wanderings seems to have that style of play in its sights, and executes some elements of it with at least its own flair, but in the end comes up quite short of its competition in terms of delivering memorable and engaging play. When you first get started, the game actually feels quite promising. After meeting the inhabitants of a small town in need of some aid, in order to build some goodwill and find the local herbalist, you decide to journey into a local dungeon to try to save him. For the most part, combat is simple and approachable, with you having a few core simple moves that over time will continue to grow little by little, and that vary depending on the weapon you're using. The enemies generally have some designs that help them look and feel a little different than average, and even though the combat doesn't feel terribly deep, it initially feels like it has potential. Then, once you return to town and go to sleep, things get a bit weird, with a major change in scenery and you being in a school with all of the same characters remixed in some way. This all seems to do a decent job of setting the stage to be something both familiar and a bit weird, but from that point, instead of building on a solid foundation, it mostly flounders. The combat that felt like it had some potential to be fun instead stagnates. The odd changes in place and seemingly time tied to the story felt underutilized and underdeveloped, and the relationship building more often than not felt a bit too by the numbers to be unique and interesting. The result is a game that generally looks great, and may have some personality and appeal to it at a high level, but that just can't match the quality and engagement levels of the majority of its peers. Overall, my final score for the game ended up being a 5.5. And if you're interested in picking it up, it's currently available on the Switch eShop for $39.99. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this review. And if you'd like more information or ideas of indie games worth checking out on Switch, be sure to click on the link provided in the description. Until next time.